Hey guys, you're tuned in to Chaotic TV. This is game 2 of the best of 3 series between these two players on Antigua Shipyard. In the top left we have formerly Complexity Gaming's Ganzi. He also played for Slayers, but then he moved to Complexity and then he left in December. And in the bottom right of Antigua, his opponent at the cross spawn, the Blue Zerg, FXO's Leenock. We took the last game on Whirlwind, I believe Zerg's favorite map, pretty handily, denying a third base from Ganzi for the entirety of the game, especially and right as Ganzi had fully saturated, he would always come in with a number of banelings and Zerglings to just destroy him completely. No wall off at the front of Ganzi right now, so we might see some early pressure from him for the I'm wondering exactly what all this is saying, but I don't exactly read Hangul fluently. It's on my list of things to do, and I should probably do that instead of procrastinating for editing while casting more. But it's just not in the cards right now. So we see, probably going to see Hatchery first come out of Leenock, especially because that's what he did last game, and this is the same kind of map. These two players have already demonstrated they'd like to wait for mid to late games before doing any type of real pressure. And I don't imagine us seeing anything early out of Ganzi because he would have already moved an SCV across the map to do so, to build an early barracks or something like that. But we do see a command center first coming out of him right now. No block by either player. That's sometimes you see a really great engineering bay block by a Terran player on a Zerg or a Protoss even, just to put them on the back foot, make them decide to do something rash sometimes. But these are pro players. They don't always go with their emotions. There are a number of players that are known to be extremely emotional, such as MKP and Hero, for Prime and Liquid, respectively. But we see a gas first coming down out of, or not gas first, excuse me, first gas coming out of both players. One finished for Leenock, far ahead of his spawning pool, so we're definitely going to see 100 gas saved up for that Zergling speed, the oh so important upgrade. And I still can't breathe out of my nose, so I might have to take the time to, in between breaths, breathe. in between talking, is do a little bit of breathing. So if you hear dead air, I've either muted it so I can sneeze, or muted it so I can blow my nose quickly and just keep on working. But we do see Leenock looking for that third base, and he's bringing it around, so he might be able to do some Nidus play right here if it's not ever visioned by Ganzi. But he's going to do a wall off right here with the bunker and 2 supply depots to complete the wall off. And it might force a Baneling bust out of Leenock, but Leenock's going to take a little bit of map control with these 2 first Zerglings, especially just to see what's really going on in Ganzi's base. He's seen everything except for the natural expansion. So he's going to go check to see if there is a natural expansion, and a factory is actually coming down with the reactor, so we're going to see more Hellions out of Ganzi that we saw in the last game that was shut down immediately by the Queens of Leenock. Now we see a Roach Warren this time instead of a Baneling nest, so Leenock's going to go for that Roach mid-game and probably move into the Brood Lord late game, or just do Roachling and Fester with heavy upgrades. But we do see the injects being perfect for Leenock. You don't get to be MLG champ 3 times, or I think it's 2 or 3 times without having perfect injects. And only 1 supply depot to wall this off. He didn't want to leave the ramp completely open, but the Marines, one SCV will get killed, and Marines in the bunker can't reach the entirety of this mineral line with its placement right there. So these Zerglings were able to get around a little bit, and they see that there is indeed a Hellion come out, and the fact that there is a second base was pretty evident at the very beginning. So these early roaches, that's a huge roach rush, 8 roach rush. It's going to be spotted by this Hellion at the mid, and he's going to run that around and back home as quickly as possible. And I don't know if Ganzi is really prepared for all this, having a 3rd command center come out. He doesn't really have any army supply to speak of. Only 13 in, single tank with no siege coming out. He's going to have to wall off something here. He's already pulled a number of SCVs to repair the bunker, and he's probably just going to lift this command center, having pulled all his mules back home as well. So all of these SCVs being target fired by the roaches, and the Marines are doing what they can to. The tank right here, excuse me, is being taken down, and the bunker is about to fall as well. The Ganzi is doing his level best, pulling a huge number of SCVs to repair everything, and the bunker finally does fall, but all of these roaches have been taken out by the Marines in this base. I really can't think and speak and breathe at the same time, apparently. But a big hole by Ganzi. Only, or not only, but 10 workers killed by Leenock. So it's a huge economic advantage for Leenock of about 400 at a time. But with the mules, Ganzi will be able to keep up his mineral mining for a decent spec of time. Spec is not a right word, but you know what I mean. So we have a wall off going out front of this engineering bay, and if a big baneling bust hits that right in the middle of upgrades, it's going to be a big problem for Ganzi. Leenock right now taking the time to saturate his natural base, and probably going to go for this third right now, with the Hellion right there going to be killed by these roaches. But now Ganzi knows that Leenock is going for that third base, and he might have to take his own pretty soon. But with this third orbital command, the loss of those 10 SCVs isn't going to be a really big deal. He's going to be able to resaturate both of his mineral mines very quickly. He's already got four gases going with 3 harvesters in a piece. I wonder if he missed that he only has 2 in this one, but he's getting 80% mining out of that one, so he's only losing probably about 12 gas a minute by not having a third in there. Roaches now see that there's a complete wall off. This missile turret SCV is being killed, sniped by Leenock, but the siege mode is there and ready for action as Ganzi pushes back all of Leenock. More continued roach production out of Leenock. He's going for a third base. He doesn't have a macro hatch yet, but we do see the lair and roach speed coming in right now. Burrow as well is about to finish, and he might go for some burrowed roach aggression somewhere in the mid game, but at least he will be able to use it to heal his roaches in between fights. We see a lot of upgrades coming out of Ganzi. He's going again for this biocentric play, and a large number of roaches is streaming across the map, but is going to be caught by all of these siege tanks, and the third orbital command is moving towards the already being creeped Ganzi overlord. So he's going to have to kill this overlord and then wait, but these 3 roaches are just doing a little bit of vision right now for Leenock, and he knows that there's a third orbital command coming forward. Now this missile turret is finished, and Leenock is trying to get as close as he can to see what he can with these 3 roaches before. And that's a pretty perfect placement of a missile turret on Ganzi's part to protect himself. But Leenock is doing what he did last game and denying the third base for Ganzi right now, having a macro hatch putting down for Leenock, and a number of more upgrades. Missile attack level 1, pneumatized carapace for overlord speed and ventral stack. So he's going to do a big drop onto the high ground here for of Ganzi's base, which is actually a pretty big deal, because he's got no protection here, and unless he gets something up there, then he will probably be kind of SOL. Now all these roaches are going to unburrow right near all of these units, or I guess not. I guess Leenock has decided not to push the aggression. He thinks he probably doesn't have enough to get back this entire group of Marines. And we see the forward defenses coming down for Ganzi right now. And a large number of roaches getting ready, and the ventral sacks are about to finish, as well as missile attacks level 1, and the roaches are going to be done and killing off this destructible debris of Ganzi's base. Now, he's still waiting for the creep to get rid of in this third base, and these roaches are waiting at the destructible debris, and all of these roaches are getting ready to load up in these overlords as Ganzi is still pretty set up here, but he's moving all of his units out, and he's doing a SCV transfer right as all of these roaches are coming in. So I'm really worried as to what's really going to happen, but we do see a 2 medevac drop coming down around here. He's probably going to drop in the main and do some damage, but what is Leenock going to do? He's not dropping at all. He's just, what is he doing? He's maxed out. What is he doing? Moving in with his roach rush over here and not dropping anything. Meanwhile, this drop is happening, so we're seeing a lack of drop on both sides. And all these roaches, what are they doing? What is going on here? I say, finally, Ganji's actually doing some drops, and the roaches are finally coming down on both sides. And Ganji's going to be able to take out this spawning pool. And Leenock right now is losing a huge amount of roaches over here in the third base. Is completely shut down, and is killing up here is really nothing's happening. So he's killing. He lost a huge amount of roaches, and a larger number of workers are killed by Leenock at this second base. But looks like Ganzi was going to be able to hold that off, and Leenock just decided he wasn't going to push forward with this roach aggression. He thought he was already on the back foot with these 15 coming in. He's like, oh well, I can't do anything. So this huge number of marauders, I think Ganzi just had the upper hand, or was going to have the upper hand, and Leenock lay down his king, to use a chess term. So we're just going to move on into game 3. Very interesting game to end between these two players, and we'll see you very soon. From Chaotic TV, I'm KO, saying thanks for watching. Cheers.